Welcome to Future Tides, everyone. Youth Innovation for a Living Ocean. Aloha and welcome, dear ones. We gather tonight to honor something sacred, the living memory of the ocean and the emerging wisdom of the youth who are listening to her now. This isn't just a webinar. This is a wave form of remembrance. It's also a gift from us at DreamTank, and especially from one of our original dream makers, Emma Kraft, to the beloved Ocean First Institute community. A decade ago, when DreamTank was just a spark of an idea, Emma was part of our very first cohort, a 12-year-old who dared to dream big for the planet. Now, 10 years later, launched Coral Sunscreen, an ocean-saving innovation that received R&D funding thanks in part to Ocean First's belief in her vision. And tonight is our way of saying thank you and paying it forward. We're here to show you what happens when you say yes to a young person's dream. At DreamTank, we don't just prepare youth for the future. We give them the tools to create it. What began as a program has now become a verb. To dream tank means to dream, design, and launch the world you want to live in, supported by soul-aligned mentors, tech, and community. We've reached over 5,000 youth across 15 countries. We've helped launch 200 plus ventures, from banning plastic to protecting owls to building metaverse worlds to creating reef-safe products or supporting young people like the one that sparked tonight's event. And we've learned that the greatest innovations don't come from adults with answers. They come with young people with questions. Like, what if whales are speaking to us? I have a news flash from SETI. 5 days ago, the SETI Institute, famous for listening to the stars, discovered that humpback whales are approaching humans and responding to our signals. They're blowing bubble rings, making eye contact, and listening. What if they're not just animals? What if they are intelligence in another form, calling us to remember a different way of being? This is what we call soul tech, technology and innovation that harmonizes with Earth, with ocean rhythms, with our inner knowing. And tonight, our youth speakers are already using it. So I welcome here the participants, and I would like to introduce Ocean First. And so Chrissy is the head of education at the Ocean First Institute, which does research, conservation, and education. And I'm going to briefly introduce all of our panelists. Okay, so Emma Kraft, wave Emma,
Hi.
is the founder and CEO of Coral Beauty, a company she launched at age 16 to create a healthier connection between people and the planet. Her patent-pending sunscreen is designed to protect both human skin and marine life, especially coral reefs. Emma is a graduate as a fourth-year student. Well, she just graduated, studying business administration. She wrote the bio before you graduated.
Good point.
How fast things change, right? Studying at business administration at the Haas School of Business. She was inspired to start Coral Beauty after learning how everyday products like sunscreen can harm the ocean. Now she's passionate about showing how small, thoughtful choices can make a big impact for the environment and our future. Next, we have Andrew Charlton. Wave. Say hello, Andrew.
Guys.
Andrew Charlton is a third-generation ocean activist from North Sulawesi, Indonesia. Working with Ocean Gardener and Murex Resorts, two organizations dedicated to marine conservation through local empowerment, he has aided in restoring reefs and raising awareness about corals and climate change across his home country. Andrew is currently a second-year student at UC Berkeley, studying marine science with a focus on tropical ecosystems. He was inspired by the joy of sharing his love for the ocean and is dedicated to showing that anyone can have a positive impact on not just their local environment, but on the whole world. Welcome, Andrew.
Guys.
Next, we have Siena Simon, CC, her nickname. Siena Simon is a marine scientist from Las Vegas who discovered her passion for ocean conservation on a trip to Fiji's Yasawa Islands, where she helped build and monitor coral nurseries and planted more than 1,000 mangrove seedlings after a major bleaching event. In her role as curator of algae at the UC Berkeley Herbarium, she updated Dr. Kathy Ann Miller's review of non-native seaweeds along with California's coast by analyzing species dispersal and transport vectors such as plastic debris from the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. While studying abroad in New Zealand, she became fascinated by marine invertebrates, particularly sponges, whose remarkable regenerative abilities help them resist cancer. This experience revealed the potential for marine organisms to address many of today's medical challenges. To explore this further, she completed a minor in science, technology, and society with an emphasis on medicine, the body, and society. Sienna is also an environmentalist who believes that protecting the oceans is vital to our planet's health and to finding solutions for the future. All right. Next, we have Giovanna. Giovanna
Hi,
Kościelek. Hi, Giovanna. Is a dynamic 19-year-old climate activist from Grenada, passionately committed to environmental advocacy and sustainable development. From an early age, Giovanna demonstrated her dedication to the environment by initiating a school recycling program at 11 years old, organizing and managing the collection and delivery of recyclables. Her leadership skills continue to flourish as she spearheaded a composting initiative in her secondary school and became the environmental prefect. A certified diver since age 13, Giovanna's commitment to marine conservation has been a driving force in her environmental journey. Her passion and hard work earned her a scholarship to Oxford Royal Academy summer program in 2019, where exposure to global environmental issues inspired her to launch the 195 and 365 initiative alongside her father. This ambitious project aims to promote environmental awareness and action by engaging youth around the world. In 2022, Giovanna represented Grenadian youth at COP27 in Egypt, advocating for global environmental responsibility. She has since been involved in numerous initiatives, including speaking in the Inter-American Courts of Human Rights and participating in a parliamentary debate in the Young Women in Leadership program. Giovanna's dedication extends to her role as a teacher, where she empowers young people to take action for a sustainable future. Her leadership in organizing nationwide Earth Day activities in Grenada further exemplifies her commitment to environmental advocacy and community engagement. So as you can see, a lot of these young people started out at just the age that we invited young people to join us here. Now, while we don't necessarily have some 10-year-olds on here lives, we hope that we can share this with many 10-plus-year-olds who would like to be, and younger, who would like to be inspired by everyone here. And I also would like to ask Chrissy if you would like to just make a brief introduction about Ocean First Institute and what you're excited about tonight.
Absolutely. Ocean First Institute, we are a nonprofit. We're based out of Boulder, Colorado, and our mission is marine conservation through research and education. And so you may be thinking, Colorado, that's a strange place for an ocean conservation nonprofit. And maybe it is, but it's really not, because as we know, everything on this planet is connected. All water is connected, and especially in Colorado being a headwater state, so much water moves through our state to the ocean. And so what I'm most looking forward to is connecting with these young people who are so passionate and so innovative about the ways that they are working to protect the ocean. And I'm excited to share that energy and to be part of bringing that forth so that other people can learn from these great minds that we have gathered here.
Beautiful. That's us. You can go to the next slide. Okay, so what are we doing tonight? We're going to tell some stories, talk about innovations. We will do a dream design launch activity, which is DreamTank's verb process. We're dream tanking, and we can dream tank in short periods of time, longer periods of time. We've prototyped over 10 years all these different ways to unleash intergenerational collaboration for our thriving future. So we're going to do a little bit of that tonight, actually co-led by all the panelists. A small action activation, Q&A and wrap up, and overall emphasizing interactivity and inspiration. And if many of you don't know this, that water is very, 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 very powerful and carries messages and carries frequency. And so, if you all have some water near you or would like to get some water, take a moment, panelists too, because when we're talking, we can get dry mouth, and take a little sip of water and let's make a little blessing and an intention that the love that we have for the planet will ripple out, regardless of who's here tonight. The energy will be found and felt by many. We would like to know from the audience first, what are your favorite ocean creatures? And I made a poll, and I'm going to just go ahead and pop it up here. So everybody here, including panelists, please go ahead and answer the poll. I love them all. I love it. Yeah. Sea turtle. I love them all. 50% of us, sea turtle. Okay. And sharks. We got sharks, sea turtles, and I love them all. And I know we have sponges and other loves, but that's probably the I love them all category. Lovely. Okay. So what we're going to do is really just, we want to make it fun and have you feel the love for the ocean. Okay, so we would like to have each panelist offer a 1 to 2 minute insight about what inspired your ocean related work or the problem you're addressing. And the three different elements that we talked about highlighting, just about like your dream when you were young. The confidence is key. What you had the confidence to get started. Where did you get that? How did you overcome obstacles? And we'll have 1 to 2 minutes each. Emma, why don't you start since
Great.
you were co-producing this with me?
Yeah. Well, I want to just say thank you to everyone here. Um, and also just the amazing group of panelists and people that we have gathered, all doing really inspiring things in the world. And I would say one of the most powerful things that I ever heard was never stop asking questions. And this might sound super cliche, but I really took that to heart when I was younger. And I had so many different ideas, a lot of them never came to fruition, but I never stopped asking questions about the world around me. And they were big and they were small questions. But that made a really big impact in my life. And also, I actually, when I was in middle school, I had a really difficult time. My parents were getting divorced. My best friend had just moved away, and I didn't know exactly what to do. And I actually say that because I think it brings a lot of light into some of the hardest moments can lead you to the most inspiring things. So amidst all of that happening, I was just entering high school and then COVID happened. And I went to go visit my best friend who had moved away, and I was looking at all these coral reefs and wondering what people were doing about them. And actually, because I had so much going on in my life, I decided I didn't become destructive. I didn't start partying or drinking or any of that. I actually really got full into this question. I cold emailed like 40 different scientists, even though I was just a high schooler asking questions, and they loved it. People love it when you ask them questions. And also, because I had so much going on in my life, I took it as an opportunity to really dive into questions. And it's gotten me to Berkeley. It's got me graduating Berkeley and starting this company to inspire people in the world. So, my two big takeaways are never stop asking questions, and also sometimes the hardest moments can lead to the most amazing things in your life.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Emma. Let's go next to Giovanna.
Oh, straight across here. Okay. Um,
Mixing it up.
yeah. So what inspired me? So the first time I was on the ocean, I was honestly about a month old. My dad took me kayaking, something that he did with all three of us girls. And though I don't really remember it, I kind of grew up feeling like the ocean remembered me, and in a way, my soul remembered it, despite my young age. And and since then, the ocean's kind of been like a second home to me. Living on an island here, the ocean's a part of our everyday life. I look out of my window right now and I can see the ocean. And because of that, I grew up swimming. Like you said, I started scuba diving at 13. And I fell in love with the vibrant life that just existed below the surface. The turtles, the coral, the manta rays. I remember being on the Carinache. Like, you don't know what that is, but we have a small Carinache here in Grenada. And it was this giant manta ray that just came right up towards the boat and then headed straight back out. And it was amazing, but as I got older, the childlike innocence faded, and I could really see the damage that was being done to the ocean. Like, plastic tangling in reefs, fishes swimming in trash, the beaches being completely littered with the pollution that we've caused. Last year, my father and I, for Ocean Day, because we organized a bunch of activities, we went up to Pearl Beach, which is in the north of our island, and we were picking up garbage for hours, and we barely made a dent in it. We had to stop because we ran out of garbage bags. And it was moments like those where I realized that I had to act. And because of it, I began actively participating in underwater beach cleanups. We found a giant table underneath the water once. And I participated in
Table.
more recycling. Oh, sorry, I'm going too long, am I?
No, it's okay. It's okay. But just yes,
Um,
just yeah, wrap up. But that is the
yeah.
table. I was just more commenting on that.
Yeah, it was huge and it was passing. We had to pull it out of the sand as gently as we can, not to disturb the ecosystem. But it wasn't easy, but every small piece of trash that we picked up felt like a victory in a sense, because this is our paradise, this is our home. And what gave me the confidence to kind of keep going was realizing that I wasn't alone. There are youth all around the world who care just as deeply, whether it be about the ocean or wildlife conservation or recycling. But one of our biggest challenges ended up being not the ocean, not the increasing speed of the climate crisis, but not being taken seriously by adults. Our ideas were often dismissed and our passions and urgency just ignored. And it's kind of why my father and I ended up launching this initiative. It was to unite youth from all around the world and to bring education, awareness, and mobilization to the climate crisis. And it's because we're not waiting for change. We're creating it, as I've listened and I've heard from all of you other panelists. We're creating change because when you grow up with the ocean, it's in your heart, and you can't just stand by and watch as it dies. And we fight for it. So that's what kind of inspired me to do this.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Giovanna. I love those story. I love the stories. And Emma, would you be so kind as to go ahead to the slides where we have the highlights of all of you?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And the previous slide was why oceans, why youth, why now? And you're answering all those questions. You're already saying all the issues and challenges and addressing them straight. So that's fantastic. And Andrew, would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure. My internet's being a bit spotty right now, so I don't know how much of it you're gonna hear. Um, but yeah, so basically in 1988, my grandpa started a family like diving business. He had been instrumental in creating Bunaken National Park, which is one of the only marine national parks in Indonesia. Um, and then my mother was involved in ocean conservation. She was working with WWF for a long time, and involved in protests against reclamation here in North Sulawesi. Um, and so that's why I say I'm a third generation ocean activist, because um, since day one, I was raised to love the ocean and take care of the ocean and appreciate it for what it is. Especially for my family, it's not just, you know, something beautiful to appreciate. It's the source of 100% of our income. My family completely depends on the ocean for, the entire way we live. It's the reason that I can afford to go to college. It's the reason that I can eat any day. Um, and so for me, the ocean was not just, something that I could immerse myself in. I've been diving since I was 6 years old, on my dad's like spare regulator. Um, but it's a provider, and that's how a lot of the people in my hometown feel as well. The ocean is a provider. A lot of them are fishermen. A lot of them work in the tourism industry. So I realized how important the ocean is for everyone, not just people that live right next to it. Half of our oxygen comes from the ocean. And so I really wanted to, find ways to get people not just to care, but to really take action. And so that's why I joined this expedition to Antarctica in 2023, where we were trying to find ways to make ocean activism more accessible for anyone. And so from that, we came up with these resolutions, and I was spreading those resolutions with, literally anyone that would listen, especially in my hometown, finding ways to sort of adapt the message to make it more understandable to people that, live in the tropics in a developing country compared to people that live in the US, people that live in Singapore or China or Australia. And I think that's really my main goal, is to make conservation understandable to everyone and make it accessible to everyone. Um, because it's hard for people to care, and that's really what I want to change.
Right
Beautiful.
on.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Emma, I think we had an individual slide for each of them, if each of
Oh,
you.
sure.
Yeah, just so you could see the beautiful slide there that we made with each of your projects. And there's
Here's Andrew.
Andrew.
We went out of order. That's okay. Here's Miss Well, Cece. We can
Yeah,
maybe
we can
Yeah,
start off
with the
here.
visuals.
Um,
beautiful. Thank you.
yeah, just wanted to say real quick, I used to work in a seaweed lab, and I thought I would picture how like this common seaweed that's invasive on California's coast is also a seaweed that you could find at different sushi restaurants that we commonly eat. And then on the right side, I thought it was fun to add just like anyway, scientists have found like almost a real life SpongeBob and Patrick out in the Atlantic Ocean. And I thought that was just cool to add, just these two creatures coexisting side by side.
I did
Yeah.
not know that. They actually do coexist side by side.
Yeah, which I thought was it's super cool just to see happen naturally in nature. Um,
Wow.
but if we want to go to the next slide, I
I love
can say, so ever since I was little, I've always felt a connection to the ocean, even though I'm landlocked because I live in Las Vegas, which is a desert. Um, when I was small and I went on family trips, I would always ask to go to aquariums or just any type of ocean related thing because I'd be so excited to see the ocean. And when I was younger, I was actually scared of the ocean. I was scared of the waves, but I always wanted to continue and learn about it. It was the only thing in school that fascinated me. And so as I got older, and my fear of the waves went away because I became bigger. I decided to go on a conservation program trip to the Asawa Islands in Fiji, which that's what's pictured all the way on the left side. Um, and there I got to really see coral bleaching firsthand. It was after a major bleaching event in April of 2019. And I got to build a bunch of different coral nurseries, which this is a picture, an actual picture that I took from that trip. And I got to work with marine biologists and side by side and it really just opened my eyes of what being a marine biologist, marine scientist is. And from that moment forward, I knew that I wanted a career in ocean science. I wanted to be able to help save the oceans any way possible. Just because my fascination just it grew. I couldn't believe everything that I was learning and how much the ocean was just so cool. I also just believe that the ocean itself is just the last area of exploration on our planet, and we are still learning new stuff from it every single day. And stuff that could even help ourselves in our modern day life too, especially through different types of medicines. Like Sponges, which is in my name, Sponge Queen. Um, they don't seem like much just because they're sessile creatures and they don't really move around. But they're actually being studied to help cure different cancers because of their amazing abilities to regenerate. And even through collagen and different other like biomedical substances. Um, or I also too, back to like our favorite animals, I just wanted to add the immortal jellyfish was a jellyfish that has recently been discovered. And this type of jellyfish can live forever because it keeps reverting itself back into its juvenile stage. So theoretically it can live forever, but the only problems that it faces are like disease or being or like any predators, which that just shows how amazing the ocean is. And I believe that we should all protect it in order to keep learning and also for ourselves too. The ocean influences everyone everywhere, even if you're in the desert like me or coastal too.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Thank you, Cece. Such amazing stories. Uh, all right. So, yes, you can keep going. Okay. So, we would like to, you can bring up, actually, let's do this. We are going to do a little guided visualization to the future and see yourselves interacting with the ocean or the environment you helped protect. So we're going to go there as if everything that you're talking about that you want to do has already happened, and we're celebrating and you're experiencing the joy of what you protected and what you created. So you can bring back an animal connection or think of something new. Maybe something new will come to all of the young people here that they hadn't thought of yet with all of us together here. So we're just going to take 1 minute just to close your eyes and just imagine that you're in this future place and maybe it's 10 years in the future and everything is the way you've dreamed it could be. And you see yourself doing something with certain people, celebrating and talking about the success that you had in creating this thriving future. And you're observing also what's happening around you. Are there any new types of technologies that you've helped innovate? Is there any kind of vision or snapshot vision that comes to you? Even if you think it's nothing, just imagine who you're talking to. Did you know a boat go by that is totally powered on solar or on renewable energy? Or what did you see? And what do you see yourself interacting with? And what do you feel in your body, in your whole being? And look around you and see who you're with. Just chit chat, look around, feel the breeze, ocean breeze. Smell the salt water in the air. And now quickly finish up your visioning and finish your conversations. And you can time travel back to June 12th, 2025, where this all started. And now I'm going to ask you all to reflect and write down what you saw. What did you see? What did you care about? And is there something that was new? Or was it the manifestation of what you're already doing? Just take a moment and write it in the chat. And that's for everyone. And then we'll read a few of these. That would be lovely.
And Heidi, just to make sure I'm on the right visual slide, are we only
Next,
ocean inspiration, or I think we're on the
Yes, we're
ocean
on
this.
that
Okay, good. That's
one.
what I thought. I wanted to make sure.
Yes. Okay. Okay, that's mine. And if you prefer to share it out loud, I just think it's nice to see when you're in your own space still typing out what you saw.
I love that you were talking to a whale, Heidi.
Yes, it's coming. Nice, Chrissy.
Yes, sponges.
I know. Let's work on that together, Cece. Make
I'd
it
love
happen.
to.
What else? Nice, nice, healthy reef. Can finally relax.
My dream is a future where I'm no longer needed.
There you go. Right on.
And then you just get to be, which really we're really meant to enjoy life, right? We're not, that is one of the ways of being a human being is enjoyment, not all of this rushing around, survival mode, craziness we've created for ourselves. We're going to shift that. Yes. No more Pacific garbage patch. What about some of the other guests that we have here? We have Allison. She's one of our DreamTank science advisors. She's the one that told me about the whales. She told me this morning about SETI, the SETI report, and she called me and said, "You might want to share this with the kids." Of course, you're not kids, but we call each other kids too. And we have George, beautiful.
Mm.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Love
I One
turtles.
thing that came to me was also that cancer was cured with sponges.
That can be in our nonfiction bestseller, Cece.
Yes, that's in the book, and
Oh my
also
God.
that we don't get wrinkles anymore because of sponges.
Great. Fantastic.
Seaweed.
That can be in our bestseller too. I love it. We're writing it right now together. It's a group writing project.
I love that.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I also see that between everyone here, that you could all participate in the different parts of the world. Perhaps when Giovanna and her father, we're going to be on some of those parts as well, that we're celebrating that young people were the ones that helped us all wake up and dream again. And
Certainly,
that was one of the ways it happened.
certainly. That's not fiction. It's going to be a reality.
Yes. No, this is not fiction. This is a nonfiction visualization. Beautiful. So, just to ask a little bit more, we wanted to just hear more about like just what we all shared. The design phase is dream tanking is bringing our different missions together a little bit, weaving our different missions together and seeing how we could design something for that to become true. So we have a book, that's happening, right? There's a collaboration of a book. We have a movie where there's going to be a movie of all that we're doing with youth that Allison is helping to facilitate. Um, and I'm sure all of you will be invited to participate in some way. Um, what else? I will say that we're building a whole platform of programming and curriculum that for youth to lead in their cities. That for every place that Giovanna and her father goes, we can leave behind a whole toolkit of dream tanking and regenerative solutions for intergenerations to collaborate and to regenerate their homes and their cities from their own ideas and their own challenges. It's more of a process. We never tell anyone what we think they should do. It all comes from within, and we think the peace and the change comes from within. So what else did we all hear that we might be able to do together? Andrew's planting coral reefs. Emma's regenerating coral reefs. We got sponges, we got books.
I think
I
it really ties into like a huge mission for all of us is like action and inspiration intertwined. And I think it's amazing to see what happens when we all support and collaborate with each other. And also when we feel so inspired by something and feel empowered that we can. And so it's fun, like even us dreaming and thinking about these things, like watching them be a reality and seeing how they take shape is really powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of want to add to that. It's like, I mean, we all talk about how much we love conservation and how inspired we are, but at the end of the day, it is tiring. Um, I mean, like for example, me when I, go to a reef restoration project and all the corals died and I need to replace all of it, I'm it feels like you're not getting anywhere. And for me, like seeing what other people are doing and visiting these other projects and just even just listening to, the daily like activities of what people are doing in these other projects, that's really inspiring to me. And that um reinvigorates my steam engine. And it helps me to keep going because I think if all I did was look after my coral project, I probably would have given up years ago. But being able to see what other people are doing and talking about what their inspirations are, that really fuels my drive.
Yeah. I could actually build on that too. Because the world is at such a devastated state right now and on the decline. If we really didn't have those who are working their butts off to push for a better future, there would be no hope. Oftentimes, environmentalism and activism is a thankless job, but knowing that there's somebody else trying just as hard as you gives you that drive, as Andrew was saying, to keep going because if not now, then when? And if not us, then who?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And just
It's
to add on
true.
that too, yeah, it's just this community of all of us. It is really inspiring, um, and motivating each other. And also too, for everyone that is also in the chat and if considering careers in ocean science, and if science isn't too much your thing, there are other routes too that you can take to help the oceans, either through journalism or policy and there's different routes you can take. I think at Berkeley, there's this new foundation that started like Berkeley Center of Ocean Futures, and it was able to connect everyone, just everyone that has an interest in the ocean all together. And it at least showed me that there's different ways in order to help the oceans, and it's not just through science.
And
Yes.
even if you are not a scientist, like I was not a scientist, I did not become an ocean scientist, but I now work and am learning from so many scientists. Like you just have to love something and you just have to not be afraid to reach out, and amazing things will happen to you. Um, and it's a really amazing community. And also bridging. There's a lot of power actually in not necessarily knowing and being able to come in and bridge different people and have different scientists have conversations with each other that may have never talked and to create new things. It can be really powerful. And I also love what you said, Cece, too. There's just so much that you can do because the ocean is so connected to all of us, even if you're in Colorado or Las Vegas. Um, it's our world. We live on a blue planet, um, which is not talked about quite enough.
In fact, to build on that, it's a system, right? And the ocean's a system, and to change anything needs a systemic approach. So when the oceans are not separate from the land conservation, nothing is really separate. Even when I looked at the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals that came out in 2015, where was one of the inspiration for starting DreamTank, because I thought, well, no hunger is a moonshot. That is not one goal separate from the rest of them, or life underwater, or life, but right. And when I had that epiphany, I thought, well, we need people of all generations and all sectors collaborating, right? So that it's not just the scientists. What you were saying, Emma, is in fact, and I love hearing about that center at Berkeley, CC. That's kind of, and actually, I'm prototyping a systems change class and potentially institute with some classmates at Brown University right now, because we need the interdisciplinary collaborative teams, right? When we go to the future state, when you were in your future state looking around, all those things had a different type of person that brought that forward. Somebody from the public sector had to change policies. Somebody from, the public sector had to figure out how to completely get plastic out of the coffee cups, right? Or whatever it is. And all of those things working together, and also economically viable, which is really important for a system to shift, and we all come together with our ideas. Then we can design that future with all of those people in the room that are there to help carry it out. For example, you have a funder in the room too, the public funder, a private funder, a tech leader, right? Who needs to be in that to make that future state true? And that's what I've been doing for 15 years here through my consultancy, and then the past 10 years with DreamTank. And that's what we want to bring forward, is the systems approach. And that takes all the polarization out. We don't have to talk about politics. We don't have to talk about political parties. We just listen to everybody's challenge with the situation. A lot of times it's economic, right? We can't tell a palm oil manufacturer in Costa Rica whose livelihood it is to make palm oil, even though it pollutes the air. We have to replace it with something that they can use that's sustainable to make money. So that's a systemic approach, is really understanding what pieces we can solve. And that's why we need the next generation, because you see things differently, and have not been living in this system as long and get as ingrained in not seeing new things. And that's why, and one of the main reasons we need young people is that you see things differently. You have that unlimited possibility. And now even the younger ones, you are all at an age where you inspire now the younger ones, the 10-year-olds, the 8-year-olds, the people who will see this. My son Cody was one of the original dream makers. He was 7 when he started, and now he's 17, and he just ran with his friend a camp at the Museum of Boulder called Planet Protectors, as for 6 through 9-year-olds. So it's the next generation. We keep inspiring each other to take action, and all of us need to be on that team. The 8-year-old, the 18-year-old, and everywhere in between. So that's my hope, that we all can weave deeper together and amplify all of each other's work in a beautiful swimming system.
Lovely.
Chrissy, what about you?
I think we're all stronger together, absolutely. And I think that, as you said, different people have different viewpoints and bring together different lived experiences. I mean, I had a colleague who used to say anything that I would say I already know, you know. So listening to other people and other people's viewpoints is incredibly powerful. And you're absolutely correct that a systemic integrated approach is the only way to make sure that all people feel involved and invested and have buy-in. And that's what's going to give us the opportunity to solve these really challenging problems, is to make sure that everybody's at the table making the decisions, because the people who aren't there, if they don't have, it's going to take all of us. And so that means everybody needs to be invested in the solution.
Beautiful. And let's hear from some of our guests. You can unmute and come on camera if you would like. Anyone who would like to offer their future vision, their inspiration, or some collaboration ideas or offerings. I know I'm putting you on the spot. It's okay. All right. Well, you can raise your hand and let us know. Okay. So we are in this phase just a little bit more about any practical or additional advice, like, and or sharing other inspiring things that you saw people doing. So this is kind of our completion of the design phase, and then we're going to talk about what we can do, little actions next. Do you feel like anything you'd like to add? Any other ideas that you've seen? Obviously, many of us have seen different types of straws, right? And I mean, I know that the paper straws didn't work so well. So I know that there's straws, a lot of innovative ways to use compostable straws that I have seen. Um, what else have people seen? Those bracelets made out of ocean trash. There's just such unlimited ideas that we can do.
Something
Even
that, oh, go ahead,
go
Susie.
go for it. Go for it. I was just gonna add to the straws, so it's okay.
No, yeah, I'm curious. Go.
Okay. Um, I don't think bamboo is used enough. I
Mm.
think bamboo straws are actually really, really good. And bamboo is such a fast growing plant that it really doesn't have like the potential to
Mm.
be used efficiently. Personally, I think anyone that doesn't like paper straws would not care about bamboo straws because I think bamboo straws work.
They
I
work really well. I think I've tried only once or twice, but they're really not out there. And bamboo grows so fast. That's
This is
surprising.
It's such a cool segment, too. I actually, my 1 year in college, I went and I did a regenerative bamboo building trip down in Ecuador.
Mm.
And it's a really cool segment, actually, to what I was also going to say is I love imagining, well, I think straws are a great example, and bamboo even, of how something in the ocean, um, like something not in the ocean, not related to the ocean, bamboo, not related to the ocean, right? But
Mhm.
how it can have an impact on the ocean. So it's reducing plastic in the ocean. But also something that I think is really important in how we're designing and how we're thinking in the future is thinking about how we can regenerate. So not only having this idea of how do we stop things or like how do we stop things or mitigate things, but how do we actually regenerate things so that they're coming back even stronger than they were before?
Mm.
Beautiful. You know, Emma, would you bring up, we kind of skipped over the ocean creature slide. I just want to bring it up because it's so cute. And this is what we're saving.
Oh, wow.
Uh, it's just, yes. Uh, so these are just all the different ocean creatures, just for fun, that this is where we're having everyone visualize what is their ocean creature doing in that future state? How is that ocean creature doing in your future state? And what are they're singing? Probably the penguins. I was thinking about the penguins.
Peep.
I can
Peep,
see like
peep.
a really happy Little Mermaid 3.
Yeah.
I actually see Happy Feet. That was one of my favorite movies
Yeah,
ever.
Happy Feet 1 and 2.
Yes, both of them. It was, I watched, my kids too. I watched them, I don't even know how many times. Awesome. Okay, so we are doing open Q&A right now, and the launch piece, we're moving into that. The launch piece, we would like to just ask each of you one actionable tip based on your experience. So this is from ideas to action. And just share with us, what do you do and how can individual actions help save the ocean? I will just start this just by saying that we actually, with the youth led initiatives here, we were able to help ban plastic bags in the state of Colorado. That was very big, that was largely a youth led initiative. And a group of young people that went to our Future of Boulder at the Museum of Boulder um, were listening to what the kids were saying. They were saying mayor that we had the mayor come and they said, Mayor, the future of Boulder does not have plastic. And the mayor said, well, you're going to have to go to the state capitol to go change that. And so a group of young people, we did a dream tanking. We worked with some public officials. We worked with business leaders, and the young people came up with ideas as to how they wanted to help advocate for this. And we helped create a youth lobby day. And a few years later, it passed. And so now we have plastic. We have no plastic bags, and we have the paper bags. Yes, Giovanna?
I just like to say that that example that you just gave is one of the truly amazing things about how youth can take charge. Because right now, youth are the ones that are seeing the effects of climate change. We realize because we're on the ground, we're experiencing it, and we realize that if we don't take this active stance, then future generations will lose out on the amazing opportunities that we grew up with. And people don't realize, well, I don't think people really think about it too often, that the people that have the power have developed such a lifestyle where they are protected, whether it's they have the money and the resources that they don't have to worry about if the sea level rising is going to affect how they can fish to survive, or whether they'll have water to drink because of the drought. And it's the youth that inspire us all and take charge in a world that is on a rapid decline. And I love hearing examples like that where the youth, I don't necessarily want to say stand up to the powers that be, but they work alongside the powers that be to create a better future.
Yeah, that is, thank you. Thank you. It was one of those moments in time where we could see the power of this. And a big part of it is that we don't want to have the polarization in the next generation that we have. And so we were saying, like, just find out why people are against it and come up with and listen to them and treat everyone with respect and humility, that they're trying their best with the information they have. And they maybe just didn't hear your idea yet. So it gives a hope and a confidence that we're not going to win anything by pointing fingers and being angry and yelling at each other. We we are all here in different generations, have dealt with different things in different times, and we've all paved the way for this next generation, not to just say go ahead and fix it, but we're going to be in it with you. We are doing it with you. We're going to bring all our technology, all our support, resources, mentorship, expertise, and say, well, let's do it together. And we're not going to leave this for
Exactly.
you. We're not leaving this for you. We
It,
don't
it,
want you to have this pressure that you feel like it's all up to you and be tired all the time, Andrew. We want you to feel truly supported. That's why we are expanding massively and globally with mentors and people all around the world who truly will listen to the youth in their communities.
Yeah, because it's a beautiful blend that needs to happen more often where the youth with their brilliant ideas and the people in power with their know-it-all of the legislative system and the and the policy change, when the young and the old are working together to share knowledge, it's when you have the most amazing innovations coming to light that end up saving humanity.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. And anybody else before we go into Q&A want to add something?
Hmm.
Beautiful, beautiful, everyone.
Oh
So
wait,
we,
were we supposed to do the
yeah, the
actionable?
action, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I was going to add, well, I feel like since the beginning of the webinar, I've just been trying to like give my words of wisdom and actionable steps. I didn't even really totally say my connection to the ocean. Um, but it's there, I
We went
promise.
straight to the
Um,
last part first.
I know. I was born in Maine. I was always the kid like saving the lobster. I love the ocean.
Best for last, best for last.
But I think really in terms of action, things to really take away, there are so many examples. For me, it was at starting with a question, going and finding people and learning that they didn't even necessarily have answers, but not giving up. But I think kind of the key takeaways in terms of actionable things are never stop asking questions. It can be about different things, and it probably will actually end up relating back to the ocean, even if you don't think it does. Um, Also, letting hard moments define you. So, that I think is a big thing. We have a lot of weight on our shoulders right now in the world. So, letting these challenging moments define us in big and small ways is really important. And then also, I really love the quote, believe you can and you will. Really believing that you can. And people will tell you no, and people will not believe you. Um, but not always listening to that and really believing that you can really change your own life and you can actually change the world in really cool ways. And then the last thing is that you're not alone. The more that you keep doing what you believe in, you will find others that are around you and have experienced actually very similar things, even when you don't think that they have. And none of us are alone. So I think those were four my main actionable kind of ideas and steps for people to take away with them.
Excellent.
I would say
Beautiful.
for my actions and steps, I recommend. First of all, dream tanks like this, being able to, knowledge is power, and I think being able to receive knowledge and then spread it, I think spreading knowledge is so instrumental in being able to save the oceans because keep it a conversation, keep it talked about. The more people that learn and know, the more people that can come and help. Um, I'd say even make it like a dinner table conversation if things get quiet or if there's a long car ride, just bring something up about the ocean or anything. It can even start as like, hey, did you know there's a jellyfish that could live forever? Immortal jellyfish. And then, oh my gosh, did you see everything going on in the ocean? Like, there's so many ways to keep the ocean talked about in your life and just being able to spread knowledge. I think that is just, it is a way to be an activist and continue on the power to like save the ocean. And such an easy step that you can do. You could start immediately. Um, and then secondly, I think just making those mini switches too also helps a lot from trying to reduce single-use plastic, remembering to bring your tote bag to the farmer's market or any type of grocery store instead of using the plastic bags. From straws, switching plastic to bamboo or reusable straws. Even now, too, with plastic, different scientists have been turning different seaweed polymers into creating bioplastics. So that way it's been able to leave like a low impact alternative compared to like plastics made from petroleum. So there's much more like science and research being done. And I think just being able to look out for those different new sciences and supporting those communities too. Like I found out about the seaweed turning into polymers because there's a lab that started in Alameda, which is like the Bay Area. Um, and it's this girl that she used to work in a plastic design company and was like, I don't want to work in plastic. So she was able to change seaweed into like a plastic-based compound. And I just think being able to support people like that too is also a way to take action.
Yes, yes. I want to hear about a lot of these things because we're creating an international trust to invest in a lot of these ideas and innovations in a systemic way. So I want to hear about all those. All
Yeah, I'll send them. I'll make sure to.
yeah. I want to reflect on what you were saying, Cece, that it was a word that I wanted to bring in here, and that it brings up for me when you say, like, talk about the immortal jellyfish, is keeping wonder alive. The ocean can bring wonder, and I think that wonder keeps that hope alive.
Sure.
And even in that moment where, oh my God, it could change the whole day. And the hope inside of us, like you're all saying too, that's what's going to keep us going too. Like that, what you're saying, I love that as an action step is like wonder.
You have to lean into the wonder and get
Yeah.
people to have that curiosity and that connection, because no one is gonna be moved to make changes through shame or blame. Nobody likes being shamed or blamed. Nobody likes it. And so operating from a place that we're all doing the best we can, and that spreading knowledge, once you know better, you can do better, I think is really important. And I think curiosity and wonder is an easy way to make that at the forefront of how we're speaking about these issues that we're trying to solve.
You know what you so when you what was it when we see something we do better? What was that?
Once
Was
you
it?
know better, you can
I
do
know
better.
better. Yeah. So, and one of the things I like to think about too is why is this moment different than other moments where we've tried and people haven't mobilized? Is because when people feel something, they do something. And people are feeling a lot of the impact of the climate, no matter. Yes, I think Giovanna, you're right. There's still some isolation, and I think it's less, more and more. Every person on the planet is starting to feel how much we need to shift systems and shift, and that's also a beautiful thing when systems fall apart. That there's an opportunity for the new. And that's a very hopeful take on what's happening in the world. And that's the world I live in every day. I'm just like, has to happen in order for this to happen. So I didn't vote for it, but
Seriously.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna ride the wave, right? Andrew, what
Yeah.
about you?
Yeah, I think what Chrissy said about leaning into the whole like the wonder of it all. I mean, I don't know about everyone else, but like even during this call, just talking about what I do and everything, you get that like little giddy feeling. Um, yeah, I see you nodding your heads. It's like
Yeah.
we do this because this is what we love, this is our passion, this is our life. And I think that's something that not a lot of people talk about in terms of something you need to be in conservation. Because even with collaboration and getting constant inspiration from other people, just seeing uh, how destroyed these ecosystems are, it's taxing.
Mm.
And it's hard to keep on doing this without that giddy feeling of, just the little things that make you happy, just be like reminding yourself why you do all of this. And I think it stems from just the wonder of not just the ocean, but the environment, you know? Um, and like I think that as long as you have that feeling, as long as you get goosebumps whenever you are talking about your favorite sea animal, whenever you get excited when someone, brings up corals or immortal jellyfish or sea sponges, um, nothing's gonna be able to stop you. No matter how devastating it is, nothing will be able to stop you from doing what you love. And finding other people that love the ocean, that love conservation, that love the environment. I think that's like the backbone of continuing to do what we do.
You got to
You're-
find your people and love them hard.
yes. Yes.
Okay. But going off of what everybody has said, which is very powerful in and of itself, for I wouldn't necessarily ordinary people, but for people that go through everyday life, you don't necessarily need to start by coming up with this grand initiative, whether it be to travel around the world or start your own product. You can just start local, stay consistent, and invite others in, because whether it's organizing a simple beach cleanup with friends, or reducing single-use plastics, as Cece, was it? As Cece said, or just starting conversations in your school and community about it. Every action counts because the ocean doesn't need one person doing everything perfectly. It needs millions doing something. And when individuals act, they inspire others. Seeing people around the world making that change inspires people to also make a change. And when the youth lead, the world has no choice but to listen. So that's my little actionable tip.
Love it. Right on.
Right on, right on. Thank you. Thank you. I think we have George coming on camera who wants to say something. Yay. Hi, George.
So my frog in my throat. For those who don't know me, yes, I was one of the OGs with Heidi from the day of doing the DreamTank at and the sustainable interactive thing for Burning Man.
Mm.
Yes, we did. My son who was 12 at the time. He's now 17. He made it the first online metaverse for the online Burning Man in 2020 during COVID.
Yeah. So anyway, I am vicariously here tonight with you all through Heidi, who is part of a very uh, Herculean undertaking. So I'm now at the United Nations. I'm part of the UNESCO Ocean Ambassador team. You know, this is Ocean Week, and in fact, I'm barely hanging on. This is Ocean Week. Has anybody gone to any Ocean Week events
Yes.
online? So, yep, Web TV UN. There's about 7 or 8 hours every day's worth for the last 5 days. Anyway, yeah, in about 4 hours, I've got to wake up and be part of some. It's closing day, so there's a lot to do in about 4 hours for me. But vicariously living through this dream of Heidi's that I share with her and share with people like Emma and her dream. All of this is so spectacular. Honor to you, Heidi. Look. Look what's happening.
I know.
So
It's so beautiful.
it's not happening nearly as fast as any of us wanted. It's certainly, we have this 3 year horrible cycle that we all live through that we all have PSTD over. There's a lot of, there's something for every one of you in the projects I'm on that I can help you with. So I am putting in the chat my email because I'm going to log off because I'm going to get too emotional. Uh, but Heidi, I just need to let you know. So yeah, the SETI thing was only a tiny thing. Amazing. I don't know how much you've plugged in. Amazing things have happened at the UN. But of all the things that's happened, y'all, in the past, these events have historically had enormous pledges made by people that you expect to follow through to the tune of $100 billion that was pledged over 12 years ago now. And we've barely been able to find $12 billion was ever distributed. So this year, effectively, there's a whole new regime of holding pledgers accountable. That's number one. There's literally a thing going into effect now. You make a pledge, you're gonna be held really publicly accountable for that coming through. So that's one point. The next one is $2.4 trillion, trillion with a T, has been pledged for ocean, not nature, ocean, over the
Right
next.
on.
So if you put those two facts together, if you imagine what the ocean's done with nothing for decades, literally 0.1% of the money that's been donated has gone to ocean. You know, the other stuff has been great too, but the ocean, given its value. So I know I'm preaching to the choir. I just want to share with you, for those that aren't plugged in, that's probably the greatest news to happen. If
Yes.
we have,
Yeah, that's
as you
amazing.
all are learning, we have magic. Cece was doing a great job. Just there's a gamut. That's 8 years of being at the UN, attending 8 and 9 webinars a day sometimes. The stuff that I see, there's amazing solutions, amazing passion, amazing leadership, amazing roadmap. We know what we can do. We know where it needs to be done. We're ready to roll. So people are waiting in the line. This, if this week was true, if those two things go true, all of us will see certainly the 500 endorsed UN programs should immediately get major funding. And the 2,500 that have been registered commitments, which includes DreamTank, by the way, in our little
Yeah.
cabal. Three or four
Yeah,
have
we're
already
included
been
in
in,
all this.
of the
Yeah.
25 in our group, 3 or 4 have already been endorsed. We're doing fine on the endorsement side. We're in that 500, 3 or 4 of us. So anyway, just there's a lot of good news out there. This week's been great. Those of you that love the ocean, go to the UN website. Watch some of those. Just watch the titles. Are 7 or 8 videos a day. Some of them are 3 hours long. Some are 10 minutes. Highly recommend you do that. You need to get the big picture story too. And then you got to go to Joanna's point of view.
Oh, thanks, George. Thank you
for
so
sharing
much. You
that.
could tell George's love and passion like
So
exploding
yeah,
all over. Thank you so much. And for that information. And we're over a time a little. So
it's
I
okay.
just want to honor everybody. And I wanted to do a little closing prayer, if you will.
Yes, real quick, I just wanted to say I left a link in the chat to the seaweed polymer if anyone wanted to save that before the chat goes away. It's
Oh, good.
the yes to the company in the Bay Area that's been
Very
able to
cool. Thank you.
transform seaweeds. I just wanted to add that real
Dude,
quick.
I
Oh,
forgot to
thank
put
you,
that
Really
thank
cool
on.
you, thank
company.
you.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's my
And I
email,
think we
right?
should have, we could have regular collaboration meetings, weaving all this together too, and I think that's what's happening here anyway, with all of our movements that we're doing.
Hey, Sienna, will you please send me the stuff on the college ocean program at Berkeley?
Yes, yeah. It
Yes.
just
Yeah, my
started in
yeah, it's
August, so it's super
yeah,
new.
my
Yes,
email's right there now.
yeah.
Just on that. Again, all of them, Heidi, give it I mean, the email's there.
Yes, yes.
All of
And
you
we're
yeah,
gonna
send
send
me
a
a
bunch
link
of
to your
stuff.
project so I
Yeah.
can know. I'll send you something back. Every one of you, I have comments for all of you, and I'm not going to use any time up. Bye, sweetheart.
I'll send you an email too with everyone's, yeah, or
Yep.
they'll send you an email. Thank you, George.
Thank you,
Yeah.
George.
Congratulations. Honor to everyone.
Good night.
Yeah, right on. And let's take a little quick picture of us, six
Oh,
of us here that are in this. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so closing remarks. Thank you so much. I could stay here all night. Um, we're recapping that we had beautiful themes: individual action, innovation rooted in passion, the ripple effect of small and big changes. We will be following up with all of you with some information about all of our different projects. And as we close, take a moment to reflect on the current that moved through you. Maybe it was a creature you love. Maybe it was a solution that sparked an idea or a memory of what it feels like to believe that anything is possible. That's what we call your dream signal, and we invite you to follow it. You'll receive a follow-up message from us with invitations to go deeper into Coral Sunscreen's journey, into Dream Tanks, into everyone's projects here, Ocean First Institute, and into the global movement of youth-powered, soul-guided innovation. Whether you're a student, a parent, a funder, a teacher, or a curious human, there is a role for you. We don't need you to fund us. We invite you to Dream Tank with us, to become the adult that remembers how to listen, to become the system that allows the youth to lead, to become the current that carries this wave into the future. Let this not be an ending, but a beginning. The ocean remembers. The youth remember. Let us together remember who we are.
Very cool.
Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful night.
Thank you, everyone. This was wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It was lovely being here.
It's just the beginning. I have a feeling we're all going to be good friends soon. Oh, and I'm just going to drop, and we closed it, and I'm just going to drop. Oh, for those of you that need to drop off, feel free. And I wanted to invite Giovanna to tell us about the underwater event.
Just give me one quick second just to fix something.
Okay, okay.
Well, that's getting fixed. I also really just want to say thank you to all of you who helped this, and also Giovanna, I'm just meeting you now, but thank you for coming on and doing this. Chrissy and Heidi, thank you for supporting this,
This is
and really helping lead it. And then also Andrew and Cece, thank you for coming in and being my two ocean people at Berkeley, and continuing to support Beyond now that, we're all over the world. But I really appreciate all of you so much. Um, and really, it's just such a gift to get to work with you and hear all of you. And really, you're such an inspiration. And it makes the world feel like a better place with all of you around. So thank you.
So sweet. It's so very sweet. So I'm gonna try and summarize this as quickly as possible because I know it's late. It's like 10:30 by me. Um, But so with our initiative, to give the very short version for those of you that don't know, my initiative and my father's initiative is an initiative to travel to 195 countries in 365 days with youth representatives from all around the world to bring forth awareness, education, and mobilization to climate change. And one of the activities that we will be doing is we're going to have sort of an underwater UN meeting. So all of our youth participants will be certified divers, and we'll be going underneath the water to have sort of a United Nations meeting, when all the different representatives sit down under to vote on whether or not to pass certain bills. So while underwater, we'll be having a sort of mock meeting where we'll be passing a few sort of bills. So, for example, banning of deep sea mining and the high seas treaties, just to name a few. And it's one of those things I'll be broadcasted to truly solidify the importance of the ocean and what needs to be done to have a healthier and more sustainable future.
Wow, very cool. Do you have a schedule posted somewhere of where you're going to be and when? And
That it all depends on when we start, because depending on the climate, where it's going to be cold, where it's going to be hot, we might have to switch up our routes.
Yeah.
But before we leave, that will certainly be posted, and we actually are going to have a launch of our application videos in about 2 weeks, about a week and a half, the 24th, where we are taking applications from the youth representatives from different countries to then be able to pick out the youth representative that comes along with us. We also have application videos for different NGOs and CSOs that want to collab with us.
Beautiful.
amazing. Well, please let me know how I and Ocean First Institute can support you. So if there's anything
Yes.
you, please don't hesitate to ask. Because it
Yes,
sounds
we
like
are. We are fully partnering with them, Chrissy. So you're
wonderful.
with us now.
I would
We're
love
all
to help as
together.
much as I can.
We're doing it together.
So
Yes.
just put me in, coach.
Yes, we're putting you in. You already are at the table, Chrissy.
I'm happy to help in any way I can. I'm happy to help
Everyone's
you.
at the table. This isn't my initiative, it's our initiative.
It's ours.
that.
That's right.
Oh.
That's right.
You guys, this has been amazing. And I'm going to say goodbye for now.
Yes, I'm going to end.
I have not had dinner yet, and I'm going to start chewing on my arm if I don't.
Well,
Me
it's
too.
never goodbye. It's till next time.
Till
Till
next
next
time.
time. See
Till
you
next time.
later. This was
Till
really, really
next
wonderful.
time. Till
All right.
next time, everyone. Thank you.
care.
Till
Good
next
night.
time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.